Good evening, guys. This is Sleeping doing a video for you. This video is going to be completely over enchantments. So, the very first thing that you need to know about enchantments, they are basically a way of making your characters and your captains a little bit more powerful. So, we're going to take a look at exactly where you would get enchantments from, how you can get enchantments, what exactly they do, and what is their general purpose in this game. Okay, so, very first thing, there is ways that you could go through and buy enchantments. I do not agree with it at all. I think that is something more of just be patient in the game. But if you're really trying to get something done really fast and everything, this is a way to do it. So under your sales that initially pop up, look at the one that says enchantments. Now there's one for boost your city, boost for your melee, boost all army, and like some of the ones they can just do your health, sometimes they do your strength, and it all depends upon what exactly you're going for. But all these are like $250. Big waste of money. I do not agree with it at all. I don't think that it's a good idea. And I mean, granted, like if you're trying to soup up in order to do a specific act or whatever, and that 20% or 30% that you're going to get from it is actually going to make a difference, then I understand. However, it's not really a very good, costly idea. Okay, so let's look at our characters and where exactly the enchantments go. So you would click on your hero. Granted, my internet is slow as crap, so I apologize. All right, so for each piece of armor, we're going to look at the information on it. You can have a gem that you attach to it, and you can also have an enchantment that you attach to it. So, like this Beowulf armor, this armor is never going away. It's the durability is forever, so I can put an enchantment on it that's at a high level and not feel bad at all about what exactly it is that I'm doing. So you put the gem here, you'll put the enchantment right here. Now, what I would advise is that you only do this. Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Sorry. Anyways, you only do enchantments when you're at a certain point where you're like, okay, I'm good. If you're about to go from one level of enchantment to the next level, just wait a little bit. But if you have it to where you're like, okay, I'm good, I'm not going to go any further than this, like for me, if I have an orange level or red level enchantment, I'm using it. Like, hey, I'm good at this point. If I'm a G9 that's been playing this for 6 months to a year, or 2 years or 3 years, then they're only looking for god level enchantments pretty much. Because every single day that you play, you're getting these enchantments that come on in. So you could go through and attach like any type of gem that you want, and then we're going to take a look over at our enchantments. So these are all the high level enchantments that I have. Now on the phone, it lists it differently than on the computer. On the computer, it's going to give you your highest level first. So I have a bunch of red level ones. Yeehaw. So I can look at these and take a look at like, okay, this one increases the health of my specialist. That's cool. This one increases the strength of my melee units. So you got to decide like, okay, for my hero, if I'm going to keep this armor on my hero and everything, then what do I want them to do? If I have it to where I'm attaching it to, let's say, Tangle, and I'm trying to have him be able to march faster. Now, granted, if you're using Tangle, the only reason in the world why you would use Tangle once you get further into the game is if you're trying to go to the mercenary exchange. Tangle is absolutely a waste, guys. I'm sorry. There's portals, there's also speed ups. Tangle is a useless character. So if you're one of those people that's been spending a lot of time working on Tangle and everything like that, forget it. I mean, I know that some people they're like, "Oh, well, I'll put him on my main army and everything and blah blah blah." Well, Tangle, what he does is like, look at this march speed. Every single level that he goes up, he only gives you a 0.5% faster. I could go through in order to get it 86%, use two speed ups, and I'm still faster than what this guy is. Needless to say, I don't need him. But let's say, for instance, that I was trying to go through and put like, let's you know what? Let's make our lives easier. I'm gonna put it on. let's put it on Cleopatra. All right, so Cleopatra right now, we are looking at her armor. Right now, I have a Beowulf, basically piece of armor. I do have an enchantment that's on it that increases the strength of my army. That's a good thing. So then I could go through and take a look at, like, maybe I put a gem on here. So then we got like increase the health of the specialist, increase the strength of your ranged, melee, strength of scouts. If this is going on Cleopatra, then I want to increase my attack ability. Cleopatra is an attacker. She is probably one of the best ones that you can have because she applies a bonus to everyone. If you have it to where you're attacking one specific type of structure or one specific type of monster and they are weak against one thing, like, oh, they're weak against melee or they're weak against ranged or whatever, then yes, you would want to use your, Ramses or your Alexander or Wu Zetian or whatever. But if you don't have it to where you're very specific in what you're going after, then you might as well use Cleopatra. Cleopatra, Beowulf. If you're going up against other players, then you want to use Dust End so you get the max level of CP out of it. And I also like Leonidas because I think that melee is something to where there's a lot of monsters that go well against melee. So I'm going to compensate and everything by going through and using Leonidas and making my melee a little bit stronger. Just the way I basically deal with that. Now, I could go through and have it to where I use Minamoto in that case and have it to where I have more archers. And so that this way their melee bonus being high doesn't exactly do anything against my players when I'm using Minamoto. Okay, so we want to go through and make sure that every single piece of armor that we have has some kind of, enchantment attached to it. Now, if I have it to where I'm not ready for that or whatever, then that's completely understandable. But for, like, let's say our main hero, this purple level armor, it's really freaking good. I am not getting rid of this anytime soon. This is about as good as it gets because if you look at what exactly this does, this has given me a 50% army strength, 50% army health, 50% against other players, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to automatically go through and attach something to this that will help me as far as attacking either other players or, let's say I go up against, like if I'm doing Arachne and everything and I want Cleopatra to be one of mine, then that makes perfect sense. All right, so let's find a enchantment that works for us. So in order to look at your enchantments, the best way to basically view them is to go under your forge. So let's do craft equipment, workshop, and then we're going to look at enchantments. So we're going to go down to combine. All right, so this top one is basically our strength of our army. If you ever have it to where you spend any kind of money on enchantments, this would be about the only one that I would be like, you know what, so be it, whatever. Because this is strength of your army. This one right here is for health of my army. I don't really like go for health of my army all that much, even though it is worthwhile in some instances, especially when I'm going against like, different kinds of monsters. But if the strength of the monster is outlandishly high, then no matter what kind of health bonus you have, it's not going to really help. So I could go through and focus on strength, and it's basically every odd one. So this one would be strength of army, this one's strength of melee, this one's strength of our ranged. So I could go through and increase it based upon what exactly I think that I'm going to need for my main hero. Now, for your main hero, right, I have 3 pieces of armor that I'm going to keep on there. The other 3 pieces of armor, if I get the other 3 as part of the reward from Beowulf, then I'll attach those in there. And then at that point, those would be my permanent fighting armor for my hero. If you have armor that you're going to be switching out a lot, it is not worth it in order to add a high level enchantment to it. So like, let's say for instance, you're one of those players that you fight a lot of lower level monsters. Well, then at that point, you're taking enchantments, putting them on there, enchantments, putting them on there, and you're just going to waste enchantments that way. I mean, I am trying to build up in order to be able to get red level. If I got to yellow level, I think I might, poop myself or whatever, whatever. But I need something that basically deals with attack. So we have strength of our mounted, we have strength of our, whether or not it's our ranged. I might want to look at like strength of guardsmen or strength of specialists. Now, granted, it's much better to go over the strength of like the entire army, but you get what you get. All right, so I can increase my specialist strength. I do have a good bit of stuff right here, but even if I go through and combine these, I'm only going to get to basically this level. I seriously doubt I'd get more orange out of it. Strength or increases the health of your guardsmen. Strength of your guardsmen. Strength or guardsmen. This one is crypt. This one's tar. We have tar production. Research speed. So for research speed, this would be good in order to basically put on Farhad. Speaking of which, let's see if Farhad is actually up to bat. All right, so we're going to go over to... Oh, let's get out of this. On the computer, it doesn't like it when you do that. Don't blame it, but so be it. All right, so we're going to switch out Cleopatra. We're going to look up and get Farhad out over here. So I took basically the... oh, gosh, what is it called? The ruler, or not the wrath, but the oh gosh, I can't think of it. Anyways, I took the ones that basically deal with production and overall construction speed, research speed, that go to my main hero, and I upgraded these different ones to a godlike level. So after I was done with these, instead of going through and breaking them down and trying to use them for something else, I stuck them on Farhad and also on Aurora, because when they're sitting in the city and doing research or doing construction speed or whatever, you can also go through and gain in different, like you could get the construction speed to be even faster. You could get your research speed to be even faster. So by looking at, or by keeping these on here, then I could go through and also improve them. So let's look at what exactly we have attached. So we have a construction one. Oh no, this is the building. Yeah, sorry. Increases production of building resources. Do I really need this on here? No. This might be something I'm going to end up switching out. Let's see what this one has. So we do have increased research speed. That's good. And then we have increased research speed. So this top one does need to be switched. I'm going to take this one off. Yes, I want to dispel this enchantment. And then we're going to put a new one on here. And we need the one that kind of looks like... there it is. Yay! Okay, there we go. Now, let's take a look over at our gems. See if there's anything that increases the speed of our research. Strength of melee, strength of scouts, health of siege, health, no. Good, no, no, no. Strength, no. Increases troop training speed. This one would be good for Helen. Okay, no, no, no. Crafting speed, no. Wait, ooh. Increases technology research speed. Yes. There we go. All right. So now with this piece of armor, which I don't plan on going through and fighting any fights with it because Farhad is basically just going to be a peaceful person. If I ever have to go through and make him fight, I'm going to make sure I switch out my armor. This way we don't kill the durability of it and then end up having to scrap it later on. So this right now is basically set up for the rest of the entire game. Like, I don't have to touch this. All right. So with that being said, anytime that you ever go through and find it to where you're like, okay, I want to put an enchantment on here or I want to put a gem on there, make sure that you're at a good enough level and that armor is going to stick around before you do this. Like the people in my old clan and even some people that have commented on these videos are like, oh my gosh, you don't have this on there. You don't have that on there. I'm like, guys, in due time, like every single thing in this game is about right place, right time. If you have it to where you're just sticking something on no matter what, then you're ignoring the circumstances of it. Like, oh, I have 8 farms and 16, mansions. And somebody was giving me crap about that. They're just like, oh, that's such a horrible idea, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, if I'm in a bad clan or a clan that is not giving me very much, no offense to them, by the way, because I mean, like, you can't make a clan automatically be good, no matter how good you are as a leader. When you have that, though, your people are going to have to adapt to it. You're going to have to change it up and be like, okay, I need a little bit more food or I need a whole lot more, silver. And I just found that 8 farms and 16 mansions is a nice way to blend it when you don't have a great clan. So like now, when we're looking at my clan right now, granted, I'm suited up for battle because we had an epic earlier, and before that we were doing CP runs. So I don't need that now. But like, let's say for instance, right, we're going to do one more just because of the fact that, hey, this is all about enchantments. Might as well show you how to do enchantments. So right now we do have increases production of building resources. So this one is equipped and it is going to be helping out. Now, granted, I get so much more of the building resources from the chests that I get, but this also helps with my food production and it also helps with my silver production. So this is a very, very well worthwhile thing. Let's see if there's anything that I can couple with this in order to put this on. Increases your siege. No. No. Increases guardsmen. Strength of your specialists. Oh, here's another one. Ooh, that'd be good. Not that. This one. Yeah, it's at an orange level. That's pretty darn good. I don't see any reason why not to. Let's do it. All right, so now that piece of armor, probably something that I'm never going to have to touch again. I mean, maybe I get godlike gem and maybe I get a godlike enchantment and everything, but not anytime soon. Okay, so let's go through and make sure that our other pieces of equipment are up. This one's another godlike, so I should have it to where it has something attached. Increases equipment crafting speed. That's a good thing to have. And then let's see if we have a gem that we could go through and attach that would be somewhat useful. Increases the march speed of your troops. This wouldn't be a bad thing in order to put on your hero, just because you could speed up your guys a little bit. This increases the equipment crafting speed. So if I'm trying to keep it to where my crafting speed, like I'm doing a lot more armor now, this might not be a bad thing in order to have. But do I really care that much? No. Trying to look for something that would be more applicable to like peacetime. Strength of your melee, strength of your range. These are all good for fighting, but this is not exactly what I want for my leader. No. This might be something to where I'm going to wait a little bit because, like, don't get me wrong, I have a bunch of purple, so I do have possibilities in order to like increase tar production speed. Actually, I have 4 of these. Ooh, okay, we're gonna do this. All right, go on over here. Get back into your forge, workshop, combine gems. We have a bunch of stuff that we need to go through and combine. Wow. Okay. Yeah. When you got 21 of something and then 3 of the next one, it's like, okay, I can have an orange in this. So, yeah. Needless to say, when you're doing your enchantments, you might as well look at your gems at the exact same time just to go through and make it to where you're actually really boosting your hero and all. So, now that you know generally how to equip them, let's check out how you get them. So with enchantments, the easiest thing to do is every single day when you're going through and playing this game, you have quests that you need to knock out. And you get daily jobs as a part of it. And they pop up every single 3 hours. So make sure that you're going through and keeping track of it. Because sometimes, like, if you leave your game for like 10 hours or so, then you'll just have the possibility to get a whole lot more daily jobs. And especially if you're on VIP level, then you don't have to actually do the jobs. You just have to go through and claim them. So let me go through and show you guys exactly what you get from the daily jobs. All right, so we're going to add some in here, a little bit extra just to be able to show you like the different levels that you might get. Okay, so gold, yay, yay. And then here we go with our first enchantment. This one, I'm not exactly sure what it does. Blueprint, blueprint. This is march speed, so that's going to be able to help. That's another enchantment. This looks like either strength or health of melee. I think because it has a heart right there, that means that this is going to be a health of my melee units. This is the health of my ranged units. So basically, you're going to get from your daily jobs all of your enchantments. And sometimes they're going to be the most basic gray level, like this one right here. You can look at the background. This one has a white level, which means that it's a little bit higher. And then as you scroll down, sometimes you'll see that they actually give you some really higher level stuff. Like whenever it has a green dot next to it, that means that it's a green level. It gives you a little bit more. So this gives me silver, but it gives me more silver than if I got it this way. Like 500 is the most basic. 7,500 would be a higher level. Now I'm getting a blue one of this, and I'm not sure from looking at it what exactly that is, but it does like have the heart thing. So maybe it's a health of some kind of unit. And you can notice down like a lower level of, maybe, I don't know. This the lowest level of our training speed. So this is how you basically will get your enchantments. Now, if you're in a clan that buys a lot of triumphal, like, sales or like the different little pop-up sales that go and everything, then every single time that they buy something, you're going to go through and get gifts under triumphal gifts. Now, right now, my clan didn't buy anything and on all, but earlier when they were doing all the purchases in order to gear up for the ancient summon, it's to where there was probably a total of like 100 triumphal gifts that basically popped up in the course of like 2 hours. So everybody was getting their mercs and getting everything else because they wanted to go through and knock out the robot as best they could. So whenever that happens, you're going to always get like these daily job things that will pop up. And that's why I have the extra ones when I go through and add. I was at 5 earlier, but then I popped all the way up to 71 because my clanmates were getting these as part of their whole entire package that they were sending on out to everyone else. So in this case, I had 70 or whatever, and so I got like 65 from basically my other clan members. So if you're in a really good clan, you're going to get a lot of these daily jobs. And make sure you click on them and make sure you use them because every single time that you're getting these, it's adding to your enchantments list, and then you can go through and make sure that you basically combine them. And we're going to move this across, move it across, move it across. And now we got 2 of the orange ones over here. And you just do this over and over. And I know it's frustrating and everything, but hey, if it helps you out, be it. Now we're at 3 right there. Okay, cool. So make sure that you go through and take a look at your enchantments list, combine all these beforehand, before you're trying to actually go through and put them on. And then this way you can better equip yourself, get those bonuses and all. Like, let me give you a perfect, for instance, right before I end this video. I'm going to show you guys my Beowulf character. Okay, so for Beowulf, let's switch him out. Beowulf is my second strongest character just because Hercules fights so many different monsters by himself. He's at 327, Beowulf is at 311. Plus I got Beowulf a heck of a lot later. So look at my godlike for my Beowulf armor. It gives me 100% strength. The durability is outlandishly high. I'm actually getting to the tail end of this, which is funny. But then it's going to go 1009 and 1008. And yeah, I'm never going to go through and be able to like dwindle this down. So I have a godlike level, increases the strength of my army. This was a reward from the Beowulf Kingdom being in the top 100 for, I think it was G8. But then I also went through and I got gems out of it. And so this one was actually for the G7 level. I got a red level and I did the increase the strength of my army. So with this combination, right, let's take a look at it. So we have a red of the gems. That's an extra 15% to the army strength. Let's look at for our 12% for the enchantment. So between the 15% and the 12%, I have 27 extra percent that's going towards my 100% on the army strength. So right now my army strength for just this one piece of armor with the gem, with the enchantment, is sitting at 127%. Pretty darn good. And this is going to basically stay on Beowulf forever. I'm not ever taking this piece off. If I was able to get top 30 and all, I'd be able to get 3 more godlike pieces of armor. I don't think I'm getting there for Beowulf Kingdom. Oh well. I'll make do. But if you notice, I did this for the next one. And I also did this for the next one. I'm trying to have it to where Beowulf is my strongest character. And in order to do that, I mean, like Hercules, I'm gradually going through and increasing his stars. He's at 5 stars. Hercules at 5 stars. Beowulf is at 4 stars. I would love to get him to 7, but the only way that I'm doing that is if I'm hitting G9 and Beowulf, and I'm not doing that. Now, the season is ending soon, so be it. Maybe they'll go through and make it to where I can buy my way up. I don't know. Well worth the money. Okay, so this is all over enchantments. I hope you guys actually learned something about it, how to do the enchantments, what enchantments you might want to put on there. Like, if you're putting for your characters and they're peaceful, like whether or not we're talking Sophia or Straor or Farhad or Aurora, go through and add something that basically helps them with their specific task that you use them for. If it's Farhad, it can be anything along the lines of research. If it's Aurora, it's anything on construction. And if you don't have anything of a decent level on those, you can always add it to where it'd be more of like a increases tar capacity or increases tar production or building resources increase or whatnot. All right, guys, that is all for this video over enchantments. I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to, you can always hit the like button or subscribe or whatever the heck. I don't care. It's completely up to you. And if you had a comment in, it'll probably be like another week until I go through and respond. I'm going to be visiting the great state of Hawaii. That makes 50 out of 50 for me, and I'm excited. But I will do actually 4 more videos tonight, so expect a lot of videos. Come on out. You guys have a good night. Bye.